You guys have $1 million business.
Definitely, yeah.
How does that feel? 3 years.
3 years. There was a lot of struggle. Pedro used to go and donate blood every single morning. We had to come up with a plan of what to do.
Give me a pair of pliers, a hammer, a fencing wire, and a bucket, and I'll get any truck back on the road you need. You're paying for what I know, not for what I did. You know, what keeps America moving is the trucks. The trucking industry is one of the pillars of the economy in America. I'm proud of we being able to service that industry, and we don't do it for the money. Like we were talking about 7 figures and that. I've never done it for the money. If you're lucky to do what you enjoy doing and get paid for it, you know, do it or chase it. Chase your dreams. You know, chase your dreams. Go for what will make you feel better doing, and you will be rewarded.
All right, y'all, listen, I'm happy to announce that we finally launched our YouTube memberships. Listen, if you want to support Truck and Hustle for all the hard work that we've been doing over the past 5 years, this is where you need to be. As a part of our memberships, number one, you'll get exclusive access to all of our archive content. Number two, we'll be doing at least one live webinar with one of the guests or somebody else from our network that you love to continue to add value to you and your business. Third, we'll be having exclusive behind the scenes content that we shoot and doesn't, make the final cut. So make sure you go check it out. Get that subscription right now and join us, man. TNH forever. Let's go. All right, Hustle fam, we are back with another amazing episode. Take two. We're back with the Lara family. Diesel Integrated Solutions. You guys are a mobile repair shop.
Yes, that's correct.
You are a repair shop on wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We always talk about the riches are in the niches here, guys, and this is a great story of how they built something from the ground up over the past 3 years now. Yep. You're doing phenomenal things, and we're going to talk about a few things. Number one, kind of your backstory, how this kind of came to be. Two, how you build something similar, and then, three, just kind of like maybe give some people just some inspiration and just, people need that these days.
Definitely,
yeah.
Especially.
Let's get into it. All right, so introduce yourselves. Let's start with, ladies first.
Thank you, guys. So I am Stephanie Lara. I am the COO of Diesel Integrated Solutions, aka The Boss. And we are based of San Diego, California.
El Jefe, no.
La Jefa.
La Jefa.
La Jefa.
La Jefa.
La Patrona.
La Patrona. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm Pedro Lara. I'm the owner of Diesel Integrated Solutions. And, well, of course, I'm still a technician. Mm-hmm. Time to time, when it's needed. Pretty much, just like Stephanie said, we're 100% mobile. We carry the mobile in our shoulders wherever we go at to the customers' locations, and we get them done in and there. Got it.
And you guys are married?
I think so, yeah.
Maybe by the end of this show, they may not be anymore. But for right now, you guys are married.
We are married,
and you are originally from Mexico, correct?
I'm a U.S. citizen, but I was raised in Mexico.
Where in the U.S. were you born?
I was born in California.
Born in California, raised in Mexico. And you, Pedro?
I was born in Mexico, Tamaulipas, Ciudad Victoria, which is bordered to Texas. So northeast side, Mexico.
Can you say that again a little slower? Tamaulico, what is it?
Tamaulipas.
Tamaulipas. Loro Victoria?
Ciudad.
Victoria.
Means Victory City. Or
Got
Victory
it.
City.
Is that what size? Is that a big city in Mexico?
No, not
pretty
really.
Small.
It's a small place. Well, the region is large. Most Mexico places are large regions, but the cities are small because of,
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So how'd you guys meet? Because you were born here, but you said raised. So how did this connection happen?
How did the universe brought us together?
Yes. How did the universe bring you guys together?
So I was raised in Tijuana border all my life. I went to school there and everything, and we met in high school, actually. Yep. We were good friends back in the day, and we lost connection. 12 years after, we reconnected again, and here we are.
How's it being raised in the Tijuana border? Because you don't hear the best things about Tijuana. I've never been, but it sounds like an interesting place.
Look, if it wasn't such a good place, I wouldn't see that many tourists down there.
That's true. For some reason, everybody wants to go to Tijuana.
Yeah, I think like they look for the thrill. You know, they're like, let's see what this is all about.
Yeah.
Tijuana is great. I love it. Tacos, everything. The nightlife is great. So being raised there, the advantage that I had was to be able to learn English through KPBS. So shout out to Mr. Rogers. Yeah, so it's like a melting pot of all these cultures and all these people that are trying to reach the American dream, and for some reason they just get stuck there. So you see a lot of that variety. So it's a great place. I love it. I still miss it.
Yeah.
I try to go and do my runs here and then when I can. So
yeah, I'm sure it is. I was just being funny. The last time I was in Mexico, I was in Playa, and there was a bus or a taxi that went to Tijuana, and they were like, you know, you can go, but like after like 9 o'clock, like we can't guarantee that we get you back. So it's like there's like the shuttle runs there, but it's like after a certain time the shuttle stops, and then it's like whatever happens after that, you're on your own. I'm like, what? My wife is like, let's go, and I'm like, I don't know about that one. Like, let's chill.
Actually, at 9 o'clock, that's when the nightlife starts. So maybe that's why they won't get you back.
Maybe
because
that's
you're gonna be lost in the nightlife.
It's like you're gonna be having so much fun, you won't want to come back.
You don't want to come back. We end our days at 6 in the morning after partying. It's been a long time though, but yeah, pretty much.
So the small city where you're from, how close is that to Tijuana?
Oh no, man! Like, so TJ is bordered with California, right? Where I was born is bordered with Texas, so it's pretty much on the other end of Mexico.
But you guys went to high school together.
This is the thing. I was born there, but I was not raised in my town. Yeah.
So where were you raised?
Mexico City.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a big city rat.
Okay.
But then we moved to Tijuana because of my family, my mom and dad. I was young. When we moved to Tijuana, I was maybe 12 years old, and then I did all my high school over there, and that's where we met in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you graduate high school, both of you. What do you do after high school? Well, you stopped. Maybe did you graduate high school or what?
I actually left Tijuana to go to LA because I had a child coming. So yeah, I left high school.
Okay.
That's how we lost touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So you go to LA and then you're still
I'm staying TJ.
You're still in TJ. And what are you doing after school?
What's that? Good question, man. What's I doing?
I'm telling you, Tijuana.
Whatever you can share.
Oh, okay. No, I was not planning on going to college or university, and I was just I wanted to run around free. I started working at what's the name of that?
It's a call center.
It's a call center. Yeah. So. As heavy as the immigration is over there in TJ, there's a lot of influence, and mostly, the United States, people from the U.S. come over TJ, and so it's a bilingual place. You get to speak English and Spanish. When I was being raised in TJ, the dollar was actually the main coin in currency.
Not pesos.
Not pesos. Even your rent was being paid in dollars. If you wanted to pay pesos, did you do the conversion and straight up pay dollars?
Okay.
So you could say that Tijuana is more like the background, the patio of
Oh yeah, the backyard.
The backyard.
We call it Tijuana, California.
Got it.
That's how it is.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was not doing much, just working call center, and I've been doing my mechanic stuff like since 16 years old, on my own cars or my mom's dad's cars, and I decided to go and pursue that career. So I went to trade school in TJ, dedicated mainly like for automotive gas cars, but it was like 1.5 years for that, and then if you could extend it 6 months. Go into the diesel program. But to get to the diesel program, you had first to complete the automotive program. So it's 2 years. altogether that I went through the automotive training, and I started working like that.
Okay, got it. And what are you doing during this time in LA? What's up, Hustle fam? If you're an owner operator looking for your next big opportunity, listen up, because this one might just be for you. J Trucking, based right out of Albany, Georgia, is a family-owned trucking business that's been in the game for almost 30 years, and they've just locked in a major contract with a large manufacturing company. That means they're looking for experienced owner-operators to grow with. With consistent, dedicated freight, you'll have steady work you can count on, plus they're offering competitive rates that'll keep your wheels and your earnings rolling. There's multiple lanes available, so you can choose what works best for you. But here's the catch. This opportunity is going fast. If you want in, you've got to act now. Give J Trucking a call at 678-361-5778 and ask for Abigail or Smita to learn more.
So,
Every
single
answer
mother.
review starts with like a long pause.
You're right. That's when you know it's going to get interesting. So I was a single mom at that time. LA just became too much for me, and I came back to Tijuana with my parents, and I started in the retail industry. Just started whatever job I could get. I was 18 at the time, so just started working in sales, and I realized that I was like, okay, I'm actually good at this. So just started to pursue a sales career.
Okay.
And that's how it is.
And around this time, this is when you guys kind of reconnect?
Oh, no. Not yet. So I did that, got married, had kids. That didn't work out. 12 years passed from the moment that we disconnected from high school. 12 years passed, and that's through a mutual friend that she's like, oh, hey, I just came across this guy. I was like, oh, how he's been, She's like, yeah, this is his contact if you want to reach out. And yes, I slide into the DMs.
Okay.
With a friend, mentality, nothing. I wasn't thinking any of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just kind of reconnected, and yeah.
So you're living back in TJ this time?
I am back in
Okay.
TJ. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So you guys reconnect. So we had 12 years go by, and during this 12 years, just to catch people up, you're kind of working in the diesel industry, just kind of learning as like who are you working for?
So when I ended up school, it's a trade school, but you can still pursue a degree on like what you was doing. So you still gotta go and do your community service, like go to a shop, ask for a job, and do your thing.
Like your internship, kind of.
Kind of an internship
Yeah.
program. It's like 6 months. You go work for somebody, and then they give you your report card, whatever you were doing.
Yeah.
And then you can go on and get your degree on the school program, which was basically just another diploma.
Okay.
So I started knocking on doors, like you're freshly started, and they want you to have some experience, which you don't have, right? So it's kind of hard to get into working for somebody like a reputable shop, but I was looking to get into the diesel industry, and I knocked on everybody's door, and the only guys that were like looking for something like that, like an internship, was the Cummins dealer in TJ. So I started there. 6 months for free,
6 months for free.
Yep.
So you were an intern?
Like an intern.
Internship?
Yep.
Okay.
And I started there 6 months, and what really had them interest on me was that I could speak fluent English, and most of the guys at the shop were not. They're just like, we're the wrenches, we do our thing, we don't communicate with the customers, we just do it. And they started sending me out with another guy. We were repairing heavy equipment and boats in Ensenada.
Yeah.
Which is port. It's a big port of entry. So we were constantly communicating with people from out of Mexico, so people from Canada or other places, and the main language is English. We were communicating like that, and they were like, "Oh, that guy speaks English," and then the service manager was like, "Okay, well then you hold some value," And that's where when I got a job, like a real job there at the Cummins dealer.
Got it. So that was after that 6-month period?
Yeah, after the 6 months period that I was, the errand boy doing it for free, they found some value in me and was like, okay, well, then we have a job for you.
Yeah.
You spoke the business language.
Which is English.
Definitely.
And how long did you work for that dealership?
I was there for 7 years.
Okay, so you were there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. All right, so when do you guys connect?
It was actually 2019, I believe.
2019.
2019, we connected. I was in the high-end retail industry, working commission. And yeah, we reconnected then. I was coming out of work and he's like, hey, I have a party. You want to come down? Sure. It was actually his anniversary.
The shop's anniversary.
Yeah.
It was the
The
first
Cummins
year.
shop, the dealership shop.
No. So it was my own shop.
Okay, so at this time you had already started your own shop.
That's correct.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, just want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsors and our longtime partners, OTR Solutions. Listen, if you need factoring or you're in a current factoring relationship and you're not, having the best experience, I implore you to go check out OTR Solutions. They are the #1 factoring company in the country. They are the only factoring company that offers true non-recourse factoring, which means that, they'll make sure that they take care of everything that you need, your cash flow and so forth, and you don't have to have any headaches or worry about anything else. All right, they're going to take care of it for you. Go check out OTR Solutions now. Click the link below in the bio, or you can text OTRTNH to 80483. That's OTRTNH to 80483, and that'll help you skip the line to get directly with one of our sales reps. All right, guys, let's get back to the show.
Yeah.
Where was the shop that you started? This was in TJ?
TJ, yeah.
Okay, tell me about that.
So it was a small shop. It was mainly a yard because when you're dealing with heavy equipment, you need the space, right, or the room. So it was a small yard. We could park maybe eight trucks in there, no trailers. We were in a side street close to the border. Specifically, we targeted that area because it was the trucks coming out empty from the import-export from the States. So we could target those customers that didn't speak English and needed service coming out of, the United States, and they had a long run back home. You name it. San Quintin is like 300 miles?
Yeah, like
maybe
in time, 2-3 hours from TJ.
Maybe more than that. Maybe 5 hours. Driving a semi truck. So most of those guys came like from their farms, delivered their produce in the States, and then they came back Mexico. So we could service them right then and there. That was the shop.
So this was you and a partner?
Me and a partner. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So you rented this space to service trucks out of?
That's correct.
Okay, got it. And then the party happens. You guys meet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we met.
We reconnected.
We reconnected. Yeah, definitely. And we went out partying in TJ. Speaking of TJ, yeah. And yeah, ever since we just haven't be apart.
Yeah,
right.
We've been together.
Yeah, we've been together since.
Okay, got it. All right, so you come back here to the U.S. Tell me about that process. So you're already a citizen of the U.S., but you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
So Pedro shared his dreams and goals when we reconnected of what he was trying to do or wanted to achieve. Mind you, at the time, I was a single mom, 3 kids, and I tried to kick him out. I'm like, dude, there's a lot of baggage here. I don't know if you want to handle this, He's like, look, this is what I'm trying to do. Can we do this? So I don't know. I mean, I believed in his goals, and I'm like, I think we can make it work. I don't know. Mind you, I didn't know anything about the diesel industry back in the day. Now you can call me and I can tell you everything by the phone. But yeah, so salesperson, and he was like, let's do this. Let's do it. We made the plan to come to California. And
what was his vision at that time?
So his vision was to establish a diesel company, repair here in the States. That was his vision. I know he had been working hand in hand with an advisor from TJ to try and establish that on his own, but there was a lot of difficulties. So when he shared that, we're like, okay, so what do I got to do? He's like, you just got to say yes. Okay, so that's what we did. We got married. He only gave me 6 days.
6 days. Wow. Okay.
He's like, let's do it. So that's what I'm
Pedro
saying.
moves fast.
Yeah, he moves fast. 90-Day Fiance got nothing on it. So we're like, yeah, let's do this. You know, there was a lot of things that we can, like he said, we compounded each other. We understood, you know, his struggle, my struggle, and let's make it better for both of us. So we made the plan to come to California. We investigated how much our rent is, and we're like, okay, let's dig into our pennies, into our savings accounts, and see how we can make this work. And we paid 1 month of deposit, 1 month of rent, and we came to the U.S. with the same clothes on our back, pretty much, with 3 kids. So it was interesting. It was an interesting move, but like I said, I understood it was going to be hard because he couldn't work right away. So the vision and the goals that he had, it's not like you just move to the U.S. and then boom, it happens. That's obviously not how it works. So there was a lot of things that we needed to do on our end.
Yeah.
To complete that.
And what part of California did you guys move to?
So San Diego, we've stayed. San Diego's a whole county, but we've been in Imperial Beach. We moved to the Imperial Beach area. Mm-hmm. That was some fun times. Oh, yeah. We were really close to the beach, and when I'm say close is 10-minute bike ride.
Yeah.
So the kids love that. We had to paint, you know, a happy times, even though Pedro and I were struggling so much. But it was like, hey guys, grab your bikes, let's get some sandwiches packed, and let's go to the beach. That was like the best that we could do at the time, because we couldn't afford Christmas the first year. We moved to San Diego in September of 2019. By October, I was laid off. So
from doing the retail?
From doing the retail, yes. So I was laid off by October, and that's when we're like, oh my God.
And what year is this?
This was 2019.
2019.
Yeah, so right before COVID.
I was going to say, was it because of COVID, but it was prior to COVID.
It was prior to COVID. They started making some changes, and they're like, yeah, you got to go. So that's when I'm like, hey, I cannot support you anymore.
Right.
So we had to come up with a plan of what to do. And we started just kind of selling burritos, selling cupcakes.
Out the house?
From the house, yeah.
On the street?
Pretty much.
What do you mean? Like, what was
I will not have the IRS come after me.
You got burrito money hidden in the walls somewhere? What's going on?
It was just pretty much to get by, you know.
So let's say, like, hypothetically, if you were selling burritos, how were you doing it?
So I would have my mom send me the tortillas from Tijuana because she was helping us out. Right. And just making them, wrapping them, and just putting them out there. Yeah.
So you had the hottest burritos on the block. Like, y'all were killing it?
I wouldn't say it was that profitable.
But it got you by.
It got us by.
Yeah, it got y'all by.
Yeah. Pedro reached out to a couple people that he knew. They're like, hey, dude, I need help. You know, we needed help at that moment. Like I said, we painted a picture for our kids that we didn't let them see how bad it was. But he came to the rescue, and he's like, you know what? I told you I was going to do this, so I have to come through. So luckily, like 2-3 months passed by, and in January of 2020, that's when he receives his work permit. And I'm like, go look for work, please. Let's do this.
Right.
But a funny thing, COVID hit.
Right. 3 months later.
3 months later. So he was knocking on some doors of like, hey, can anyone help me out? And one of his friends came through. He's like, yeah, I have a small shop if you want to work. But the pay was not the greatest, you know. So there was a lot of struggle. Pedro used to go and donate blood every single morning. Well, every morning that he could, because you can only do it like, what, twice a week?
Yeah, 2 times a week.
How much did you get paid for that, for donating blood?
It depends, because he ranks up, you know. You first
You
go
were like
there.
the number one blood donator,
Pretty much.
donator in the city. Like, Pedro, come on, we're ready
No,
for
so-
you.
He would have his statistics and
you-
his
no, you go.
calculations.
You go and they test you on, if you're good or not, you're healthy. So it's on a 30-day basis.
Right.
So you start building up. Like the first, they pay you like $50, and then you start ranking up. Then when you go past like 16 or something, they pay you almost like $100. But it's not like, it's just
Yeah.
a little bit of money.
Just something.
I mean, yeah, it's something to help you out.
Something to get by.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, so you guys were selling burritos, donate blood. What else did you do for money on the side, man? Y'all were figuring it out.
Nobody would take our organs, so
You did what you had to do.
we did what we had to do, definitely.
I love it. Pedro, so she talked about the vision. What was your vision? How did your shop? Did you want a diesel repair shop? Because at that point you're working and you had come from working in a shop. Was your vision to build your own shop?
My vision is still the same. I want to have a dealership. I want to be like I was trained at the Cummins dealership.
Okay.
And that's like the business model for me.
To sell trucks?
Like
or
everything
just
all around.
sell, repair,
Parts,
everything.
lease them.
So that's what he sold you on.
Pretty much.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
We got the first part of it.
It's a big dream. It's a big dream.
It is a huge dream,
For sure.
definitely.
And it takes time to build. But okay,
Yep.
so that's the vision. So you guys are doing what you got to do to get by. Then you get the work permit. You get a job with a friend. It's not paying much, so it's not really changing the game that much. So what happens next? Pedro, you tell me.
So okay, there's a part that Stephanie skipped, I guess.
The women always skip the parts. They just try
gotta
to
get to the juicy
jump
parts.
over the
Yeah.
important parts.
No, when she was laid off, and I couldn't get a legal job, that's when I went to look for a couple of friends, like knocking on doors, like, hey, you guys got something for me. Everybody was hesitant to give me a job. For starters, my situation in the States was not like you can get employed, you can get me in trouble, like we cannot do that. So I pretty much had to be like, like on the side, can you pay me? Like, can we do this? Like, and it was a guy, they were running a suspension repair shop.
Yeah.
Like that was the main building. And inside the building to share, the rent, there was another guy that was doing like mobile repairs. But it was like a mobile repair thing, but we had a shop, or like at least a roof on top of our heads. So that's the guy that I reached to, and he was like, nah, there's nothing for you, like we cannot do, so we cannot accommodate you. I told him specifically, I'll work 100% commission for you, because he was like, we don't have that need of a technician, like we don't want you here. I was like, okay, don't worry about it. You give me a chance, I'll be 100% commission, and you, whatever I do, you decide what you pay me off. And we said 20% of whatever invoiced was gonna be towards me, and like she said, I will have my notebooks and like whatever truck I did this much and this is how much it is, and do all that thing, and then go against the service writer and be like, hey, you gotta do this, invoice all this, and then we'll go against that number, and you write me my checks. It was never
right.
Never
Never
fair.
right. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's pretty much could take advantage of you anytime he
Yep.
wants to. Because what can you do about it?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
How long did you stay in that situation?
It was around, I say 6 months.
Okay.
It was about
Yeah.
6 months.
Even after you got your work
Yeah.
permit.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, well, okay. So we lived in Imperial Beach. I will get up early morning, 5 a.m., something like that. I will walk to the tram station. Don't pay for the fare.
FYI, didn't pay for the fare.
There's a
You cannot
lot
come
of
back
law
to
that
me
we're
now, you know
breaking.
what? I gotta check for every damage that I have. So
Oh, man.
ride the tram, 2 stations going up, go to the plasma donation center, and then ride the tram back home, grab the burritos from the, like Stephanie will do a small pack of burritos, and then I'll get those. then I needed to ride the bus. You cannot skip the bus, so I had to pay $5 for the day pass back and forth. Mainly the burritos were for paying
for paying the fare.
the fare.
Because we were not that profitable.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, they were like $1.
Yeah.
So I will go to the shop maybe 7:30. I'll get there. All patched up, like this, and then I wouldn't have nobody see that because they will think like I cannot wrench, like in a way. So, and yeah, I was like, hey, you want a burrito? You want a cupcake? Whatever. If I made $5, I was it. I was good. I could tomorrow buy another,
Pass.
day pass for the bus, and that was pretty much it for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
So when do you guys decide that enough is enough, man? This is not cutting it. This is not what you guys want.
The thing was that when we were waiting on my work permit, and as soon as that came in, I uploaded my resume on the Indeed webpage, and then I got a phone call, and I got a job, like a real job. No?
It wasn't quite like that.
Okay.
So Pedro stayed there for quite a while, and you already had your work permit. And I'm like, dude, you are legal to work. You need to get an actual job.
Right.
That was in January. March hit COVID, so there wasn't a lot of hiring going on. That's why he was forced to stay still working there. It wasn't until May that he got a shot with someone that's like, yeah, I'll interview you and we'll see what's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that you landed that job, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. They were looking for a mobile mechanic position in San Diego. And, if we really go back to being mobile mechanics, when we came to the States, I didn't have a single wrench.
Yeah.
And when I started wrenching with this guy that was paying me under the table and that, when I could afford to buy a wrench, I will go and buy a wrench. I won't say Snap-on. I love Snap-on, but I couldn't afford it.
Right.
So I went to the local
Snap
hardware
off,
place.
the no frills version.
Oh yeah. we call it Snap-on freight. And I bought myself a backpack and then put all my tools in there and piggyback every day, back and forth. I was carrying that case with me because I will hold on to my tools for dear life because I know those are my means of making money,
Yeah.
So I was carrying that backpack for 6 months, and when the guy that he was looking for a mobile mechanic, he's like, well, I can tell when a mobile mechanic's good or not because of the amount of time they need to set up the truck. He's like, how much time do you need to get all your tools on the truck? And I was like, 30 minutes. Like, are you serious? Like, I can show you my backpack, bro. Like, do you want to see the whole thing or what's the catch? And he was hesitating, like, I don't know if you're that good. And I told him, you give me a pair of pliers and a piece of wire, like those, how do you call that? Like the wire, like fencing wire. Give me a pair of pliers, a hammer, a fencing wire, and a bucket, and I'll get any truck back on the road you need. Like that bad. And he's like, well, you're worth a shot, I'm still on the same trip, bro. I can get any truck back on the road with a pair of pliers and a hammer.
I think it's that Mexico in us. We have to be resourceful.
You know how to make it happen.
We have to be resourceful.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when do you guys start the business?
I was working on this mobile job setup for, I gotta say, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. And by the time I was done with them, I had a full set of tools. The truck was full of it. We decided, so all of that happened because we couldn't figure out, like, the plan is there, you got it on your mind and it's all beautiful, but when reality is something else, it's different, right? When you actually start doing your thing and you're like, there's many obstacles to get to the starting point and you got to rebuild yourself off the ground, it takes some time.
For sure.
So it took us around 2.5 years.
Yeah,
to take a breather.
Definitely. I think it influenced that the comfort was there. We came here, we struggle. Pedro gets this job, and it's like, okay, it's comfortable, you know. You do your hours, you come home, and you have your check. That's working for us. And also, I became pregnant, and that was pressure to be like, okay, we need that constant paycheck, you know. So I want to say that a lot of that influence on us waiting, like, you know, it's okay, it's good. We're not struggling as much anymore, so let's keep this going. But when I became pregnant, and mind you, we had all of our tax savings because we had kids, so we got some money back. And then also the COVID, you know, help that they gave.
For
We
sure.
saved everything. Even though we were struggling, even though, you know, money or rent was due, we were like, we cannot take it from here. We have to make it work. We had all that money saved because the idea was still there. And we just kind of like, well, it was New Year's 2021, actually, that I was like, you know what, this is not, my son, the Joaquin was already born. He was born in August 2021. And I was like, this is not what we came here for. You know, this is not the goal in mind that we had. We have to do something about this. So January came, and I'm like, you know what? You have an LLC, so you have to get to work. And Pedro was like, wait a minute, like, I'm not ready. Like, I'm like, look, we have to do it. Like, we have to get this done. I know people might say, like, well, you have to plan and on all this stuff, but we've never been planners. I mean, we came to the U.S. like just with whatever, and let's make it work. And I feel like the same mentality was there. If we didn't push ourselves to get out of that comfort zone, I feel like it would have never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so.
how much money do you guys have saved up when you started?
Like 35,000.
35K?
Yeah, 35,000. So
Okay.
So we had an okay amount.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like
That could go fast though.
Oh,
Especially when you have to buy equipment and tools and things like that.
yeah. And the reason why I started in January, because he was like already kind of like working towards there. You got the first truck in December, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were able to. I mean, I'm one of those guys that goes in the offer up and is looking for, you know, some good, you know.
Yeah.
And,
He doesn't do Instagram. He does offer up.
Offer up, right.
So San Diego's got some stuff, but LA's got better stuff. And, you know, we were going back and forth to LA with your family, like visiting and that. And I found an F-350, like 2004 F-350 with the, it was the crew cab, you know, where you could fit 6 people in there.
Yeah.
It's a huge service bed. It had like over 280,000 miles on it. But I was like, you know what, I can fix it. Whatever it is, you know, I'll do so. And I found it in the offer up when we were like going out on to your sister's.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, look at this truck. And she's like, oh, this guy. You know?
Yeah, he straight up left it was around like Christmas. It was one, I don't know what celebration we were doing there, but he just kind of walked out and he's like, I'll be back. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I need to get this truck. And I'm like, okay, let's get it. We had the money saved because this was the whole purpose.
But we didn't put it out of pocket. You know,
No.
You gotta be smart on your purchases and that. So we've been working with our bank, and we were like, can you loan us whatever, you know, money is it? It was a $7,000 truck, which might be like nothing, you know, for some people. Be like, you know, you're running a mobile shop from a $7,000 beat up truck, but I mean, it could take us from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And also, we could fit the whole family in it if we needed to, because you had 6 passengers.
Yeah.
And
It's
we
like
did.
It was like a minivan / truck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was the school bus.
Yeah.
It was actually yellow.
It was yellow.
It was a yellow truck.
Yeah.
All right.
Terrible.
So the truck cost $7,000.
Yep.
You got a loan from the bank.
Yep.
You get the truck.
Mm-hmm.
You're in business.
Pretty much.
Right. So what does that look like? Because you just were working for somebody. How do you even get your first customers? How do you get started?
Well, to be honest with you, people already knew me in a way from before, and I'd say I would try to stay relevant to all that people. You know, they had big shops or they had some other stuff that I will still be in their, you know, in their friends list. You want to say that?
Like, how'd you stay relevant? Like, do just like go and see
them? I was calling them and see him.
How
Or
they doing?
if I needed a part, you know, I'll go get this guy. I have a friend that has a big establishment in San Diego. It's a small community, man. I mean, the trucking industry is a small community. The diesel mechanics industry, or it's like, you know,
even smaller.
Very tight knit. Yep.
You could say we're all friends, but in the end, it's all competition. So it's kind of hard, you know, to say you're my friend or not.
Yeah.
But I'd say they do appreciate me from before. This guy has a big shop. Like, they run 24 hours in the shop. He has the records. He's got the whatever you need there. It's there. Back those days, I would call him on Sundays because there's the checkpoint in coming from Mexico. There's a checkpoint in Alta Mesa, and Sundays is busy, bro. Especially people coming from Mexico, they don't know how to check on their, you know, DOT inspections and that. They'll be put out of service for a brake chamber or an airline or a wheel shield leaking. I would just call my friend, like, be like, hey, do you have this spare part somewhere? And he just be like, oh, okay, you know how to enter my shop, right, from the back? Yeah, I'm watching you on the camera, you know. You can but he's like, go take whatever you need, you show it to the camera, and Monday we'll do, you know, whatever.
We'll square up.
Yep.
Monday.
Yep.
So that was your arrangement. So that's how you got your parts.
Yep.
So So you were just waiting at that border, looking for people to break down. Or how was that working?
They call you. So they know. Everybody says we're 24/7, and that they're not. San Diego is one of those places. Everybody wants to be 9 to 5 and mind their own business on the weekends. I'm not. You know, they know they can call me in the middle of the night. Hey, what do you need? Yeah, okay, I'll be there. You know, so that's pretty much how we stay relevant with them, because the big shops will be like, we don't want to open, but there's this guy. You know, throw it to that guy. You know, so in a way.
Oh, so they would refer you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got
They
you.
will throw the bone.
So
Yeah,
that's how
they
you
will
got
throw a
the
bone to an old dog. Yeah.
First kind of business, because everything that they couldn't take, they would call you and say,
Yep.
hey, you'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So that's a great foundation. So you start building a book of business that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also we looked up like all the platforms that are out there for mobile mechanics. You know, I don't know if I can say the names, but like
Sure, say 'em.
FleetNet and Truck Down. There's a couple out there that you can join, and I mean they ask you for so many things. Like,
And these are like marketplaces to connect people with mechanics.
pretty much, yeah. It's like they have the contracts with the big rig with the big companies.
FleetNet is like the AAA, but for trucks.
But for trucks, yeah.
So if you get stranded and you look for, if you get smart, you can have like us in the area. But if, let's say you're a big company, you're, I don't know, Sierra England, or you're a big company, you don't want to deal with, you know, small guys, or you want to have your truck safe on the road. So you will pretty much make a contract with a big partner, which is like FleetNet or AmeriFleet, those guys. And when they break down, they just call them and be like, hey, you know what, we need a mechanic. So FleetNet deals with the small guys like us. They're like a middleman.
Yeah.
And then they give you the job, and, you know, you go out there, do your thing.
Pretty
Okay.
much.
Okay. So they're like a broker.
They're a
Yeah.
broker pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay. How much do they take off the top of those deals? Are you getting all the money, or how do they get paid and you get paid?
Well, that's a question for you.
So it all depends on how you want to get paid. If you set up like get paid right away, they do take like 20%. If you want to hold off and do a net 60, they actually give you your whole entire money, but you have to wait for 60
You have
days.
to wait for 60 days.
Of course, that's where it gets tricky. And that was one of the hard parts.
Gotcha.
Definitely, yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of times to just keep the cash flow going, you're going to take that 20% hit.
Yeah, of course. Because
Yeah.
there'll be times that we were doing like 3 or 4 jobs a week for them, and they're pricey. So we had to take the hit until 60 days.
Got it. So that's the way you kind of built your foundation to kind of get things started.
Yep.
Right. All right. So do you still currently use those platforms, or have you moved away from those now?
We are still part of them, but when we started doing that, and mind you, we had a baby in the back of our truck doing this 1 a.m. calls. That was fun. But when they weren't call us, we're like, okay, what are we going to do? You know, bills are racking up. So we started a lot of cold calling to like the big companies. You know, you have to shoot your shot. You have to just be bold and be like, hey, you know, this is who I am. I'm the new kid on the block, and what can I do for you?
Yeah.
You'll be surprised of how many of these companies are just kind of like fed up with the people that they're like been servicing them. Because like I said, when you get to a place of comfort, you don't do your best. So a lot of cold calling was like, hey, you know, can you help us out? Or what can we do for you? And then we had to wait a couple of weeks until we got our big call, right, from a big customer. And then that's like, okay, now we're in the game. Now we're going to play with the big guys.
Now, did you have to like do like a RFP for them? How did that work in terms of like the agreement with the first large customer? Let's start with them.
So the first large customer kind of tested us for like a month or two. They were like, okay, let's see what you're going to do. And then they sent a master service agreement.
Okay.
So we were not limited, but there was like a lot of things that we could have made money, like, for example, parts. Like, well, we can mark up price. But they were like, no, we will supply the part. So you guys just stick to labor. There was a lot of negotiating there that we had to do to just stay there. Because, I mean, this was our big shot. So once we signed the master service agreement, then we just kind of like did what we had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help me understand the cost of a diesel repair business. Like, what are your COGS, cost of goods, like that you have to kind of deal with, and how do you be more profitable? How do you run a profitable diesel repair business? Just let's talk about the business.
I gotta say that not to be afraid to set your rates, even when you think like, well, I'm charging 20% less than the big dealers. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in your product and stand behind it. You know, it's like, this is my price and this is how it is. Because a lot of times, and we have encountered people that are like, well, you're too pricey, or you're out of my range, or, you know, can you do less? Can you help me out? I don't want to say I'm mean like that, but it's like
you have to be firm. You
have to be firm. Like, you know, if you cannot afford this, because you don't go to McDonald's and be like, how can I get the $5 menu for $1?
Right.
You don't go and do that to the big companies. Like, and the fact that they come to you as a small company, like, well, you can afford it, is like, I actually can't. So a lot of times we did have to say no, because we're like, well, you're not my customer. And we had to believe in what we have and what we can do for them, that's the reflection of our rates. So I got to say that get a good salesperson in parts that can, you know, those are going to be your best friends. You know, make good relationships with them, because they can help you out a lot.
How?
So there is, as a small company, we don't compete with the millions or whatever that other companies buy, the big companies buy. So we're like, hey, we're small. We don't have credit. They can help you out to be like, well, this is what you have to do. They can inform you, you know, give you the reins of what can you do so you can get credit. Because credit comes a long way when you are a small company and you have $500 only in revenue or like credit expenses. So credit is a good one. Also, they can give you best pricing as well. Get them coffee, you know, get them a Starbucks, whatever it is, just to be your friends. And also the customer service that they can help you out with. There's been plenty of times where I call, you know, not my normal parts person, and they're like, yeah, we don't have it. Then you realize that they did have it all the time. They just don't want to go the extreme, or you know, it could be that $1 piece that you're looking for, but it's necessary for this repair. And I don't know if they're commissioned. Maybe I'm speaking too much, but they're like, $1, I'm going to do all this to look for it. Like, a lot of times they don't care. But I feel like if you have that relationship with them, they'll go above and beyond for you. So,
got it. And then you guys are mobile too, so you have to like include like fuel costs and different stuff. To like, do you look at it like we're not traveling outside of a certain radius? How do you think about that when it comes to being profitable and running a profitable business?
Well, and when you buy a part, and in this industry, it can be like $50 filter, or it could be a $3,000 turbocharger. You know, it's a mix of. There's many parts that you can get like aftermarket, or you can get away with. You know, the brake parts or the friction parts are like the same for all the trucks. You know, truck and trailer, you can say the same part numbers for the brakes, specifically brake shoes and drums. So there's a way of getting stuff like in a better cost for us,
better price,
and you can mark them up maybe just a little bit. You know, like, I don't know, a guy did this to me once. I did my job, you know, the whole repair on the brakes, and then I gave him the bill, and he came back at me with prices that he could get on the internet. He's like, this much for brake pads? I saw this on this site, and it is this much. And I was like, okay. I told him, if you wanted to be like that, you can send me the parts, you know, and I wouldn't have to have me or one of my guys drive all the way downtown, get your part, you know, and then accommodate, and then going back to you and doing the thing. I mean, you just send me the parts, make your unit unavailable for 2-3 days or whatever it's going to take you to send me a pallet of 300 pounds, you know, worth of parts. And then, you know, you'll see.
So it's like where people may see it as unethical to mark up parts, they don't understand all the costs that goes into you actually getting the part.
Correct.
Oh, definitely. And especially where we are, there's no like, it's not like O'Reilly's, you know, you can find one in any part. Like, no, it's one end, which is at the border, and then the other end, which is like 30-minute drive.
So there's two main places where you're getting parts from.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Got it. All right. That makes a lot of sense. All right. So I still want to stick with the business a little bit. Okay. So you consider that. So that's all in. What do you need? Like, what do you typically have on a truck? Like, what is like the standard tools that you're always kind of carrying, and kind of like what is that kind of cost in the business? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So mainly because of the regulations on the road, you want to stick to a small truck, I want to say. F-250s or 2500s to me are the best, which are under 14,000 pounds. That will help you a lot to lower your
fuel,
insurance, fuel, and of course, if I want them diesel, right? Because I'm a diesel guy, but many people are going towards gas because the regulations on gas are not that bad. But if you run the same kind of business as I do, you know, comparing the diesel to the gas, I refuel once a week and I can get 450 miles out of my truck.
Okay.
And a gas one, you will be going to the gas station 2-3 times a week, depending on what you're doing. But you're hauling 10 to 12,000 pounds worth of parts and tools and the equipment itself, which makes it, you know, kind of hard. If I could, I will go myself and get 750, you know, loaded up with everything on it. But then again, insurance, you name it, like just your registration. Yeah. The registration goes against the weight you're carrying on the truck.
Right.
So comparing a $500 registration card versus a $3,000 registration card, you need to, like, you know.
Yeah. Can you explain how that works? Like the different weights and what you're carrying? Could you get into that?
Yeah. So the trucks are classified in classes, right, according to the weight. So class 1 is 0 to 10,000. Then class 2 is 10,000 to 14,000. Class 3 is 14,001 and up. And then you go all the way to 80,000 pounds, which is the big truck, the semis. So depending on how much your truck is carrying, or the gross vehicular weight ratio is supposed to, then you're paying what the manufacturer says, or you can pay extra. Like, let's say I wanted to couple my F-350 to a trailer, which is going to be carrying some other extra parts or so. You're paying the F-350's fare, the trailer's fare, and the extra added weight of it, because you're rolling on, you know, the smooth carpet. So pretty much, I mean, and it all goes against how much you want to be, carrying on your truck. Because, I mean, again, if it was me, I would like to have the whole thing.
But you don't do that.
I don't do it
Right.
because of fuel efficiency and then related costs of, carrying 70,000 pounds in your back.
So you have to be smart on what you bring into your truck as a mobile mechanic. And
Yeah.
there's a constant change of load up, load down,
I could
kind of
imagine.
thing. Yeah. But the way it works too is according to what we're going to do or what we schedule for that day. Let's say if it's PMIs, then we're like, okay, how much oil do we need? Do we need the air compressor? Do we need this? Like things like that. So, yeah, I mean,
There's
So I mean, the thing is,
standard setup.
if you're doing a PM, right, you know what you need for PM, right? But if you're doing a mobile call, you have no idea what you need. So is it you bring everything and then at least you have it, or you go out there with the minimum and then you go back if you need to, like?
Well, it depends, but we try to interview the customer right on the phone, like, hey, well, so what's the problem? Because you will have the call that they'll be like, oh, we just need a jump start,
that's so funny.
Right.
and and I'm on the phone, be like, it never is just the jump start, I got batteries and I got the jump starter and all that, but it may be your starter motor. So what kind of a truck do you have? Oh, well, I have a Detroit diesel. Okay, I have a stock in my house. I have one starter motor for the Detroit diesel. Or no, I have the whatever with the Cummins. I do have the starter motor with the Cummins. So if they call me and they be like, this is a jump start situation. Well, I have 4 batteries on me in my stock. I have my starter motor that I'm going to place it. And of course, my standard set of tools. And you will go from the least to the most,
Yeah.
So, but if you go there and then seems like the starter motor that you're carrying is not the one, and you're stuck, after 9 p.m., there's no way to get parts in San Diego.
Yeah, no.
There's no way. And I could invest, I don't know.
In parts to have them on stock?
Yeah.
I could. But then I have had parts sitting in my garage for 2 years, and there's no use for this.
And how would you know which ones to get or what to, I'm sure there's more so you probably know, like, you probably have more problems, like the same problems a lot of times.
Yeah.
So what's the typical call that you get?
Well, the typical is, like I said, the jump start. That's a typical thing. So you always have to have 4 batteries in your truck.
Okay.
If you have, let's talk about one service truck. 4 batteries, because that's the most that a truck can use. So 4 batteries always going to be there. You got to carry fluids too. Oil, coolant. You got to carry, there's a lot of wear parts that you might think are like, but glad hands, you need to have at least 2 pairs of glad hands, the blue ones and the red ones, the 90 degrees and the straight ones.
The 7-way cable.
The 7-way cables, the 7-way plugs to repair them. A bunch of lights, sometimes a call in the middle of the night could be, I was stopping a scale and then one of my lights is broken. Can you fix it? And then you got to be able to have like the round ones and then the oval ones, the red ones, the yellow ones. So it's a mix of parts, but you got to have the basic, O-rings, clamps, all of the
Fittings.
rubber fittings, the standard fittings, like I said, the glad hands. I kind of have it separated in departments, electric stuff, pneumatic stuff. We've been called a lot of times for the lift gates.
Okay.
Which is
Lift
an
gates is
electric
failing.
hydraulic.
Yep, hydraulic. Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta have your hydraulic fittings. You gotta have some hoses with you. The pins on them wear out a lot. Again, the electric part of it is as simple as a lamp or a 7-way. The receptacle itself. There's like 2 or 3 different types. There's 2-pin chargers for the lift gates, like 1 pin for this. It's been a growing process, and specifically for the customers that we've been servicing.
Yeah.
We've been building up our toolbox and also our parts department. But yeah, the trucks carry, and I decided that to be like a standard. Like the left side of the truck is all parts, and the right side of the truck is all tools. Because when you're on a breakdown on the road, you don't want to be on the left hand side all the time. If you want to go pull a wrench, you need to be on the safe spot so you can do it on the right side. And in that way, I've been like, you know, like learning how to make it better for me, but also pass it down to my technicians so they have a clue, you know. You can have the smartest technician out there and he'll be like, I'm going to set up the truck how I want it. Okay, it's fine, you know. But I will give you a template on how I like things around the truck, because they could call me like, hey, do you know where this thing is? Like, I know where it is, you know. And I can just tell them like, okay, go to the middle drawer and like look for this thing, and oh yeah, it's there, you know. They grab it.
Got it. So you have a nice organized truck. That's key.
Yeah.
Also, when you're on calls, you have like the cones out and everything like that, right?
Yeah, you gotta do
Safety
that.
procedures
Safety
that
is
you guys
first,
follow.
man. Yeah, you gotta wear your high visibility jacket or a vest. I mean, it's the middle of the night always, so we need a jacket, you know.
Yeah.
But every time I get a call or we get a call from the drivers, I ask them, are you in a safe spot? Are you in the middle of the freeway? Do we need to get the CHP involved? Something like that, because I need you to be on the right-hand side of the shoulder. Your cones got to be out, all your triangles, you know, before I go out. Yeah. If I need to go out and set the triangles for you first, I will do so. But we need to be on the safe spot.
Yeah, definitely.
If they say, we're like completely broken down and we're in the middle of the street, this is bad, you need a tow truck, brother. Like, for real. I'm not going to go out there and try and wrench on you if it's not safe for us to access your equipment or our equipment, you know, our tools and that. So, but that mainly needs to be sorted out on the phone.
On the phone call.
Yeah.
So it's very important to like get as much information as you can before you actually go out there.
Definitely. You have to be very thorough with the customer that you have on the phone, because that would make the difference of did you do it right or not. So ask as many questions as you can, you know. What are you hearing? What are you listening? When did it started? What do you see on your dashboard? Like things like that. VIN numbers, whatever it is, so you can just do the best that you can. Also to be very honest. Like what Pedro said, is it's very hard for us to get parts after 5 p.m. in San Diego. So we have to be very honest and kind of like school the customer, like educate the customer and be like, hey, you know what? I understand that this is happening, but I'm going to try and do the best that I can with what I have. But if it's something further than that, then we're going to have to leave it for tomorrow just because we don't have parts or things like that. Most of the times they understand. I mean, they are stranded.
Right.
They are stranded. When they're local, they're like, whatever. But when they come from outside and we have encountered this cultural shock, they're like, what do you mean you guys close at 5 p.m.? You know, the parts. Yeah, they do. So sometimes even like 4:30, right? Like, yeah, no, we don't want to deal with it. Close it. So it's kind of like Chat GPT. The more information that you get from all this, you know, you start gaining that experience, and then you kind of know, like, this is what I need to have in stock, because this is what happens constantly. When somebody calls me, it's like, oh, well, it says something about the def on my dashboard. I'm like, yeah, 2 days, DPF cleaning, that's what it is, you know, most of the times. So, or the transmission ones, right?
Yeah.
They're the cutest. They have the highest expectations. Like, well, my transmission is like, well, you ain't going nowhere. So I feel like that's what it is as the main point of contact when you get those calls from the customer is, you know, keep calm, get as much information as you can, and obviously lay out the expectations realistically. Because if I say, oh, yes, I can take care of it all the single time, I would have terrible reviews in Google.
Yeah.
We have 5 stars, by the way.
There we go. I love that. What's the extent of the work that you're able to get done on the road? Like, can you do any repair on the road?
Yes.
What can't you do?
We can do it. I won't swap an engine on the road.
Pedro's not humble at all.
I will not swap an engine on the road. But we can do a radiator on the road. We can do a clutch on the road if it's safe, you know, for everybody. We even carry a big wooden board to get on the bottom if it's like all gravel and that, to be able to slide a transmission off, you know, on top of a jack. So we are prepared to do most of that. We can. We try and avoid it. But then again, there's a customer that be patient, and he could be like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. There's customers that be like, I just want to get a tow truck and put it in his shop. And that's where the challenge comes to us, because do we want to, get them going, or do we want them to go tomorrow to X, Y, and Z shop,
Right.
You don't need to be greedy. You don't need to take all the jobs in. But if it's your customer and you've been doing it right for him, and he's telling you, you know what, I'm broken down. It is the clutch. Can you do it? Can you not? Like, you need to know where is your position.
What makes more sense at the time?
Yeah. But we can. The beauty of the heavy equipment or the trucks is that as long as you have an open space and it's firm ground, you can do anything.
Yep.
I don't carry a crane on my truck, and I should. But then again, those are 550s, look, the big trucks. But if I carried a crane on my truck, I could do anything, brother. Like myself. Yeah. If we gonna do a radiator job, I just have 2 guys. We can do it by hand, 2 guys. Yeah. A clutch job, forcefully, you need 2 guys. I can do it myself. It took me 14 hours, to drop a transmission and then put it back in there. Yep. But you need a spotter, or you need somebody to hand you the wrenches and and all that. And especially on the newer trucks, they've been like looking for better aerodynamics and more fuel efficient, so the trucks are like sitting low on the ground nowadays. So it's kind of hard to get in and out. And if it's just somebody to pass the wrenches to you, make it easier for you not to be in and out. I mean, yeah, 2 guys can do it.
And I say like safety counts too when you're out there as a mobile mechanic, especially in the middle of the night. Like, yeah, we have independent, technicians that can tackle the job. But as for safety, I would say if you can just have a spotter. Yeah. It's always good to have that, because, there's been some terrible accidents that we've heard of. We haven't had any, luckily. But, yeah, it's like you got to look out for each other. And usually the drivers are there and we understand. But we love the drivers. Sometimes it's like, we understand this is your baby, this is your house, but for the safety of both of us, can you just let us do? And there's a lot of mechanics, a lot of drivers that like to hover the technician, like, what is it? What's going on? Like, can you tell me? And it's like, look, I will tell you once I'm done, but I would appreciate if you
give me some space.
Give me some space.
Espacio.
Yes, sí, por favor.
Yes.
Yeah, if we go into the details of, it being in an accident, because it's an accident, you can't blame nobody. But recently, a friend of mine, which has been wrenching like maybe 20 years, same as I am, and he sent me a message, and in the middle of the night, like, he sent me a picture, and I was like, well, I'm gonna be rude, right? But I was like, bro, you don't need to cut yourself, like, what's going on, Yeah. We all struggle. We go through hard times, and he showed me a picture of his wrist being slain like this, like bad.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, bro, you need to do it like this. But how many?
Wrong way. Vertical. Not horizontal. The movies got you messed up. You got to go this way.
Yeah.
But what happened is that he was adjusting a belt on a truck, and the driver was in the cab, and he turned the key. And his hand was trapped in the fan. And, it was nasty because it was the middle of the night. Yep. And then his hand was like, he's not chopped off, but he's got, bad injury. Yeah. And we're not dumb. We know what we're doing. Again, it's an accident. I like to, when we go to those kind of situations, I go to the driver and I tell him, you're in command, this is your truck and all, but for the safety of both of us, I need you to give me the keys.
Yeah.
Give me those keys, and then I'll do whatever I want. If I'm gonna be under the truck, looking for whatever, a leak or something, I need to tell him, like, I'm gonna be doing this below deck, don't move it, like, don't do anything. Yeah. Or if you want to step out, come to me, and maybe he can pass me the wrenches, if we're in like a nice setup. But it's been like the bad, like, midnight
dirt,
running the 8, which is just a single way, back and forth, and they'd be like, can you give us a hand for a jump start? Yeah. And just to remove the cover on the side of the truck to get to the batteries and being able to jump start him, I will have to be peeking on, like, okay, there's a car coming. Okay, no, there's no cars coming. Okay, I got my wrench ready. Okay, no cars. So, like, you do your thing, and then you're back, like, okay, Let me go back because there's more cars coming. You know, it kind of gets to a point like, should you or should you not? You know, but then again,
Yeah, the small business is not for the faint of heart, I gotta say.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
definitely.
What is a fair rate for a diesel mechanic? And I mean, I'm sure there's different things that go into that, like whether you're on your mobile, whether you're at a shop. But, you know, obviously drivers and mechanics have a, you know, a little bit of a relationship there. Like they don't always get along. They feel as though these guys ripping me off, right? So how does somebody know what's fair, what should be expected if you're helping out your driver friend, right? What should they look for in a mechanic, and what should they look for in the price to know that they're getting a fair deal?
Oh, so I'm the bearer of bad news, I guess. No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I'm going to speak just from California because that's where we're at. But I know the dealers are like 200, 180. They're a shop, I get it. But we do believe that we have the shop capabilities to help you out. So we don't sell ourselves short on that. Anything between 150 to 189, I gotta say, it's kind of a fair rate for us.
And why is that $39, $40 range?
So there's a lot of things. For example, and there's this saying in Mexico that we say, depende del sapo la pedrada, which is it depends on who you're dealing. That's how much you charge.
Okay.
So that gives you, you know, $39 to play with. We don't want to be like, oh, we can charge this much, but for the special equipment, like the off-highway, the more specialized, we feel like the higher rate is a fair rate. For an inspection or the clean truck checks that are like easy peasy, then we can be like, okay, 139, you know, let's make a buck.
So you adjust your rate based on the difficulty of the job.
Pretty much, yeah, we can do that. If we get a contract where someone might be like, well, you know, that's kind of steep for me paying that hourly rate, we can be like, okay, let's do a contract. Let's do, you know, a long-term business relationship, but we can adjust our rates to this and still be profitable, you know, kind of like help each other out in a sense.
Right. Is it fair for you to ever say, listen, I'm charging this because I did it. I'm just better than most mechanics. Like, is that a fair thing to say? Like, the quality of the job is better, so I can charge more.
I will say this. You could go to a phone call, maybe like check engine light, the full, you know, bells and whistles, and the dash is going to Christmas tree. And I'll be there, and in 5 minutes, I replace a fuse, and you're done. They'd be looking at me like, oh, no, I'm not paying for, like, oh, no, brother. You're paying for what I know, not for what I did, you know?
Yeah.
It's like calling the plumbers to your house, and they bill you by the hour. We have a rule for the diagnostics in that. We say we need a 3 hours minimum, which is going to cover our trip back and forth, wherever you are located, 50 miles round trip. 100 miles round trip, 50 going back and forth. And then the other 2 hours are for the diagnostics. If I get you going in those 1 or 2 hours, you know, you're done. That's it. If I need more time, I'm going to ask you, you know what, I need more time to figure this out. Are you okay with it? So I can continue to do the thing, or we can just call it even. You call a tow truck and, you know, you get a handshake. I'm sorry.
Right.
But most of the time, we can figure it out fast or faster than they expected. And sometimes, some guys know what, you know, the value behind what you're doing. A guy could tell me, you just used a wrench to do that? I'll be like, do you have a wrench? Are you carrying that wrench? You know? Now, which nut do you think you were supposed to turn? Which, you know, towards which side? Right. If they see me doing my thing, they sometimes be like, that's a ripoff, you know?
Right.
But because of
your knowledge,
you can see me doing it. It seems like easy enough for you to do so, but are you carrying all this stuff with you?
Right.
Because the money is also invested in tools
and knowledge.
And knowledge, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
When you first started, did you underprice your services?
I tried
out
to.
of fear of like not getting the business.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I have her. You know? Because they will be like, if you and I have a conversation, you'd be like, oh no, Pedro, you can do better than that, you know, like, oh no, but if I get a girl and she sets the prices and she talks to you, you're not gonna argue with your mom, right?
You have a buffer.
Yeah, it's like you're arguing with your mom, and you just don't do that. You know.
And plus, men don't like to look weak in front of women. They're like, I could pay it. No problem.
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah.
You can be like, you really haggling with me with the price? Like,
And it's interesting. I have gotten those calls and like, oh my God, but like, why? And I have to be very transparent. And it's like, look, I don't want to brag, right? But do you want to take your truck to the dealer right now? You're going to be there for, if they have an appointment, of course, right? If they can let you in, and stay there for a week or two, or do you want me to just go and I'll take care of it right now? You know, that's the value of what we are charging. It's not that, you know, we're trying to rip people off or we have the knowledge and all that stuff. It's just, we believe in what we do, and we're going to get you back on the road ASAP.
yeah.
So, yeah.
100%. All right. So you guys start to build the business as well and adding on new trucks, and you start working with other, like, tell me about how you start to scale, and like when you knew it was time to scale. What happened? Was there a contract that came? What was the thing, that the trigger point that said, all right, let's add some more people to this business? Not just gonna be Pedro alone doing this by himself.
Yeah.
Or Pedro and you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first contract that we had needed us to be at the same time in two locations, one in the southern region and the other one in the northern region.
Okay.
So first we needed two guys.
Now, real quick before you continue, how does that work? Because you're a mobile mechanic, so why are you there? Like, they don't have a shop? Like, what's the situation where they need you?
A lot of big companies in San Diego do not have an in-house mechanic. So they rely themselves on going from San Diego to LA to fix something, you know. But everything in between, they're stranded. So they know they need a mechanic or like an in-house mechanic, but they don't want to deal with the headache of having a mechanic, or, you know, you have to have a supervisor, and then you have to have a parts run guy, and you have to have a structure for their shop in there. So it's easier for them to outsource a mobile mechanic. Kind of like doing, we call this like scheduled yard work. For example, I don't know, we have a fleet of 30 trucks and 200 trailers that every day they do their thing. And we go there every morning, 6 a.m. And every driver knows this, that they're supposed to do their DVIR, right? The driver vehicle inspection report. One for the truck, one for the trailer, or whatever piece of equipment that you touch that day. So they'll put those in a bin, and then there's a separate books for the trailers. We'll go there every morning and then sort out the paperwork and be like, okay, you have 5 trucks that need work and then 6 trailers that need some repairs. We shoot that information to the supervisor and you know, whoever is giving us, you know, an okay to do so. And of course, anything which is DOT needs to be fixed before the truck can get back on the road.
Right.
Nowadays, even the radio is DOT. So everything we're supposed to go fix. So you just line up your work, you know. Okay, we have 5 trucks to be repaired and 5 trailers to be repaired. Now, what's the schedule? You know, you go with the operations managers and ask him when you need it. And of course, they say like yesterday, bro. Like, this had to be done. You know, we rely on the equipment.
Right.
So, yeah, pretty much we drive the service truck from our location to their location, do a little bit of, you know, organization on the workload.
Yeah.
And then off you go. If my guys need parts and we're not carrying, then I need to go and source the parts, like locally. Right now we have 2 main vendors that we can, as simple as request, you know, the parts via an email. And we have credit with them.
Yeah, now we have status.
They can just be like, okay, whatever, give me your PO number, and then against their invoice, and then they can even as much as ship it to the location where my guys are at.
Yeah.
So, but that's been a working process, you know.
Yeah.
Do you guys do tire service as well?
No tires.
No tires. So
we will swap a wheel and tire for some of our customers, which are already on the rack. So they have a specific rack for, you know, tires, and if they have a flat, we just do the whole thing, swap it.
So, like at the locations where you're like domiciled at, like if they have a flat, you know, because I'm sure you probably have just as much in the DVIRs. There's probably a bunch of stuff going on right there in real time. Truck can't start, it's cold, whatever the case may be. So you're probably doing jump starts and all that. Flat tires always happen. So are they calling somebody else for that work?
No, well, the guys that have the tires on the rack, we are allowed to do so.
Okay.
And then we just call the vendor of the tires to refill the rack. You know,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
we got 10 flats now. Can you come over and do your thing? You know,
Yeah. And a lot of these big customers kind of have like vendors for
specific.
Each thing.
specific stuff, like
Tires is a thing of its own. I gotta say.
I gotta say too.
It's a whole nother game, right?
It's a whole nother ball game, and it's tires, and then the reefers. They have their own vendor too.
Yeah.
Sometimes even lift gates, like they have their own vendor. Until they find out that, oh wait, you guys can do lift gates. Well, we have learned.
Right. You figure it out.
Yeah, we figure it out. Reefers is like
That's a whole nother thing.
Oh yeah, that's
No,
very
Thermo King
tight.
units.
The reefers is like
They're the
maybe
mean girls.
two guys in town.
Yep.
Which are Carrier and the other
Thermo
guy.
King.
Usually there's
Thermo
like
King,
the codes, like you
Yeah.
just have to know how to clear the codes and all that.
Yeah.
It's a little, could get a little difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, so we were talking about something. We were saying the reason why you started growing was because you had the one account that needed two people.
Two guys at a time. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you go about that? Did you just hire another friend that was another wrench, or what was your way? Because now you got to think about scale, right? It's like, okay, we have to grow.
Yeah. So, we going back to wherever Pedro started with his friend, there was this kid that he used to work hand in hand with Pedro, and you know it was like the same mentality, like U.S. citizen but living in TJ, crossing back and forth and not wanting to make more money. So we were kind of like, hey, there's this opportunity for you, like, do you want to come work with us? And he didn't even hesitate. He's like, sure, let's do it. Because, you know, there were buddies in arms back in the day, you know, doing this engine overhauls on the dirt, raining and all. So it's like, yeah, he's like, let's do it. That's kind of how we started with this guy. And he's like, yeah. So they obviously worked together, so they knew each other, and
and there's some trust there and everything.
Yeah,
You knew he was good. He could do good work.
Especially the dynamic was there, so that's how we started with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to get somebody in a service truck, and tell them, here's the keys, there's a credit card, and whatever I throw at you, you need to fix, okay?
Right.
And then you just part ways, and they be calling you like, hey, where's this thing? And hey, where's that? You know, there's a settling process. Or I like to tell my guys, you're going to set up your own truck, you know? Here's the truck. I give them the rundown of the specifics. We always carry an air compressor, a welder, and the big stuff, you know, to remove a tire, that stuff. We provide that. But then the rest of the wrenches is yours, you know. You got your own set of tools that you know and you prefer to. I mean, it's a mix of everything that you know you can fix with, from rubber to tape or whatever, because you can get away with a lot of stuff, you know, by just, you know, patching it up, get you back on the road, or get you safe to a safety place to do so. But yeah, you need to have your guys, especially on the mobile business, they need to know what they're carrying, what they feel comfortable with, and also, I'm not gonna be there with you all the time.
Yeah.
So you gotta be able to fix your whatever I throw at you yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of like we tell them, like, this is your business within the business.
Yeah.
You know, this is like how much money you want to make, how much you want to tackle. Like, it's pretty much up to you. And we also realize and see, okay, what are their strengths? What are their, you know, their difficulties? And we kind of see, like, okay, if you're good at inspections and just PMs, that's what I'm going to send you to do. I'm not going to go send you to do, you know, transmission when you don't have the experience or the knowledge yet.
Right.
Because we have partnered with the local college in San Diego to recruit. There was this tip on one of the conventions that we went to, like, start with your high school. You know, it's the trend that you hear nowadays. It's like, there's no good technicians, there's no good mechanics.
Very true.
But then it always falls on leadership. Like, what are you doing to get that good mechanic up and running, or how much are you investing in this person, believe or whatnot, to get them up and running. The good thing about a skill is that it can be learned, so if you are willing to put in the time and the effort and the patience to get a good mechanic, it's going to be up to you as well.
Yeah.
So we have that partnership with the college of like, hey, send us kits, there's two ends to the mobile industry, and you have to have trust. You're sending this guy out there. They talk to customers. They do all this stuff. They have the knowledge. And in any moment, they can be like, well, you lost your account, because now he's taking care of it. So there has to be a lot of trust, and you have to, just be very honest with that too. And understand that in any moment that could happen to you. But if people are in good relation and you're taking care of them as much as they're taking care of you, because that's what they're doing. They are the hustlers or the soldiers out there on the field that they're fighting for you. So you have to take care of them as well. But yeah, it's fun dealing with all these things.
What are you guys providing them with? Are you giving them the truck? Are you giving them the work, the tools? You're giving them everything they need to be successful?
Depends on the guy. I could tell you that I have friends that they need a job because they have their own mobile company maybe, but they don't have the contracts, or they don't have they're not, they need a job, and they could call me like, hey, do you have something going on in San Diego? Yeah, well, I could accommodate you. So since I could 1099 the guy, we could just talk about your rates, like how much are you gonna charge me? Let's say we needed to replace a radiator, and I will be straight up with him. How much will you charge me for replacing a radiator? Oh, well, it'll take me this amount of time. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this much. Okay, is there any room for me to make money there? Can I just, mark up his service? Or can I ask my guy to give me a better service so the customer can be, better served? In a way, I'm the middleman now. But, that works too, Yeah. And with a guy that is full on capable, has all his permits in place and all this stuff, I could just be like, you're my vendor, and there's X, Y, and Z amount of jobs there. You want to go tackle them? You just bill me, and then I'll deal with the customer. It works most of the time because I'm going to push the paperwork. It works like 70-30 thing. Let's say you're going to charge $100. You'll make 70 and I'll make 30. Okay. I'll pay you right then and there. You did your job. You gave me the bills. You showed me all the proof that it's done. Okay. I'll pay you right then and there. And then those $30 that I'm keeping or that I'm using is for pushing the paperwork, holding on to 60, 90 days for getting the bill paid. Yeah. And it might seem like I'm not doing anything, but I'm actually, it's the cost of the operations is not just the guys wrenching. There's an office backing us up. There's accountants doing their things. There's the bookkeepers. There's a lot of things in the back of
that people don't see.
You don't see. It's like, again, like calling the plumber, and you think, oh, this guy's just throwing a pipe in there, and then he's trying to charge me $300. He's like, well, yeah, there's a cost of the operations on his end, and there's a cost of the operations of our end. We could go as bad as the trucks wearing out, the fuel cost, the insurances, everything that needs to be on top to be able to get those contracts. Yeah. So.
Right.
It depends. If it's a kid starting up or coming out of college, they don't have a set of wrenches. They need some, handicap. I could have them outfit the truck with my own tools. We will go with inventories and be like, okay, if you break it, you pay, Right. If you lose the 10 mil, which
break you buy.
Break you buy.
and in a way of investing in them to grow up and develop, I'm not going to say I'll do whatever it takes, but if it's a good guy, I will go the whole 9 yards just to accommodate him, to start his career, and also, give us a little bit of that back,
Yeah.
A lot of this has been the foundation of helping each other out, there's a lot of that we're missing nowadays, but some people might see it as like, well, they just see the tip of the iceberg, right? They didn't see all those struggles under it. So we understand what it is to be in that place, in that position. So maybe we cannot offer, tons and tons of money from the get-go, but we will offer you knowledge. That's what we can do. And that's something that it cannot be purchased, Well, maybe if you go to college. But, but the thing is that we have also spoke to all of the technicians that have come through Diesel Integrated Solutions. It's like, look, if you want to become a vendor for us, we can help you get that started. We can help you, set up LLC or S Corp or whatever it is that you want to do. Get the insurances. We can help you out with that if you just want to be our vendor. It's not that we are giving it away, right? But it's sometimes easier on us too. Like and I'm going to say to all the CEOs out there, you know how hard it is to carry that weight of leadership and being like, I have to do this because I have a whole team behind me that depends on me. Right. If the head is not running right, then the rest of it is going to fall. So sometimes we're like, hey, if you want to start your own and become a vendor for us, we can do that. Luckily, now we are in a position that we can say, like, let's split the cake, and there's enough. There's more than enough to go around for everybody that wants to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the toughest part about your business model and the thing that's like most difficult or most challenging to kind of deal with that you don't like about the business?
So dealing with Pedro.
See, I told you maybe by the end it might all come out.
No, we have divorced so many times, but we're still here.
Right.
I gotta say, structuring the business in a way to compete with the corps. We are mom and pops, but we are dealing with a big corps, so we have to play the game. We have learned along the way, like, what OSHA is, and having the standard procedures and having all this stuff. Sometimes we do lack that structure because we've been like hustling that, getting the customers on the go. We did grew like this, even though we had to wait, from our first time that we had our service agreement, we waited about 6 months to get paid. So during all that struggle of waiting for that first paycheck, now that we're here, like, okay, let's keep on going. And from there, we went up. So having and finding the time to set the structure of the business has been one of the challenges for us.
Got it.
Yeah.
And that happens in a lot of small businesses because operation, like you said, you get going and you focus so much on the operation, structure always comes second to that.
Yeah, our
and you
CPA
find yourself
loves
having
us.
to go backwards and fix everything, right?
We've had a few of those.
That's why they say hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, definitely. And I gotta say that one of the things that when you start your business is that, get a good CPA from the get-go. Don't be like us. And a lawyer.
Can I say something?
And Jesus.
No.
In Jesus.
In the beginning of anybody, trying to get their business or structure a mean of making money, right? You want the money and you need the money. So you start like just chasing those contracts or getting out there, building up and doing your thing. But yes, the back end of the preparation and getting yourself the experts on the matters that you don't know. I mean, I'm a heavy duty diesel technician, but can I do my books? Cannot do my books, right? I need somebody to do my books.
Right.
I need somebody to sell me. So there's a whole a team behind your back that needs to be properly set up before you start. But then again, we are trying to get here without money, right? Or without the proper resources to get there. So yes, you're gonna lack off the structure.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't. It's not gonna be perfect.
No, like we were wearing all the hats. We still kind of are from the very beginning because it was just him and I had a 5-month-old at the moment, you know. So it was like getting calls, getting the legal stuff going, getting the invoicing, getting all that stuff. So when you get all that workload and you realize, oh gosh, I can't do this anymore, then yeah, call for help, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the goal now is what? Give us an idea where you guys are at now as a company. What's the size? How many guys you have working for you? And then what's the future look like? How do you continue scaling and building a business?
Oh, so right now we have 3 technicians.
Mm-hmm.
We have someone in office. She's our bookkeeper as well. And then it's Pedro and I. Wait,
6.
six people, yeah.
Yep.
As far as scaling, this is where we're going to get in a fight now.
Okay.
No, Pedro, like he said in the beginning, he has the dream of having the dealer, you know, model of business. We still got a long way to go there, but we want to expand. We definitely do want to expand, and we are still building trust with the customers that we have. So we want to get our word out there that, hey, there's good mechanics here in San Diego doing it. Give us a chance somewhere else to do that. And I feel like once we copy this model with a better structure, copy this model, we can make it national. And we are in the talks with one of our technicians now which is shout out to our female mechanic, Anna.
Hey.
Yeah, she's a badass. So she is like someone that has big dreams, and she came to us and she has that ambition, and we're like, let's support you 100% on what you can do for us and what we can do for you. So that's, I want to say, our first step into getting out of California and continue to grow.
Going nationwide.
Hopefully.
Okay. And what's your thoughts on that? You agree?
Are we on the record? No, I want to say, and this is what happens to me like every year. You know, you get all started in January, February, March, and then, you know, you kind of settle down in the summer, and then you start getting slow, and then comes the winter, and then you got to start all over again. To me, every year is like, and this time of year especially, like, what have we achieved, you know, like so far? And are we solid on what we have achieved? Or can we work a little better on growing, like, or setting the parts of the business that are, like, lacking, you know? And I kind of, like, see it, like, every year we need to, like restart. Like we're going back to square one in a way. Or it feels like going back to square one in a way, because there's heavy rotation, you know. The guy that you were relying on, now he's trying to go for another job, and then you're like, okay, so is it me back again on the truck, like 100%, 12 hours a day, or is it like, can I rely on somebody else, or do I just put an ad out there and have another guy come here and try and rip me off? It's like, you need to have your strong foundations. And we're in year 3 is finishing and starting year number 4. I believe that we still have to work at the foundation of the company, so we can, like, properly build, you know, what we want on top of that. Because if not, it will continue to fall back, you know,
You'll be restarting every year.
Yeah.
So is the goal to pretty much replicate what you're doing now with the on-site type of, you know, where you're kind of domiciled at the large carriers and just doing that for different carriers all throughout the country? Is that where the most opportunity is at, or is it more so independent to where you're like working for independent carriers, or is it a combination of both, or what's your focus?
It's a combination of both. I want to say the challenge of the guys that break down on the road and need you right then and there, they need like not a magician, right? Because we're not magicians, but they need a full black belt mechanic that can go out there and get it all done. Versus the guys that need us to go and tackle, I don't know, 5 or 10 PMs at a time doing an inspection, you know, on site. You don't need like that much of I mean, you need a good guy to rely on, but you could say it's just a lube guy, it's worth it, and he's gonna get himself good money out of it, but it's not as hard as somebody has to go look for a part, do the diagnostics, and then replace it, and if it doesn't work, what should I do next, and that kind of situation. Like, you need to have a good all-rounder that can go out there, kick some rocks, but you have to have the steady guy that shows up, because the good all-rounders, like I'm one of those good all-rounders, and I can tell you, after running 3 days, 12 hours, then you don't want to wake up, one day you're like, do I need to go? Like,
right.
And it wears you out fast, versus the other guy that knows that he has to be there every morning, 9 to 5, easy peasy, I'll do my thing. He's more of a relaxed guy. Then, you have to have them both and in between, right? Like the badass, the regular guy, and then maybe the slacker that he's just trying to get one oil change per day. But you need them all. And in the end, it's a buildup of everybody's effort that keeps the company running.
Right.
Because one reindeer will not take Santa Claus all the time, in America.
I've never heard that.
That's a nice
I've
metaphor.
never heard that metaphor before, ever. That's a great one.
That's a first.
That is definitely a first. That we have a special guest.
Yeah, we have our
joining
special.
us.
This is the supervisor.
Yep, this is our
Scarlett.
supervisor, Scarlett. What's up, Scarlett? She's trying to take our mic down. Yeah, man. So, okay. So we have the vision. We know where we're going. We're kind of figuring it out, right? What are you guys most proud of?
Well, myself.
Oh my God. I gotta say that I'm most proud of that we stay true. We stay true to what we want. Sorry guys, I'm a mom before I'm a boss or la patrona. But when it comes to my kids, they know they are the ones in charge.
That's right. They're all in the building. They're all here.
Yeah. So I gotta say I'm most proud of sticking to our vision. It's not there yet, but I know that we're doing something every single day to achieve it, and just keeping that mentality and that strength, because there's been some tough days, and I guess it's not for everyone, but being in the entrepreneurship, it can break you.
Yeah.
It can break you. So if you understand where you are going, that's where we stay true to.
Stay true.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Pedro?
Well, I'll say,
But I was going to say making 7 figure.
no. He said what we're proud of. No, I want to say that building a team and being able to recognize them as a family, as part of your team, and rely on each other, shoulder to shoulder. I think that's what we could say. It's the most important, and that we need to be proud of. But like having a buddy that you can call, in the middle of the night, be like, hey, bro, I need you to go do something for me, and that he answers the phone. Like, I want to say, like, reliability is something.
Yeah.
You will find that many truck drivers will be like, you guys showed up. That's good, man. Like the other guys tell me they were coming and nobody came around. At least, doing the best that you can at hand, like possibly, and staying true, to everybody around you. Maybe a guy's sick, maybe a truck is down, maybe I'm not willing, and I gotta be able to answer the phone and be like, what, this is the situation. Like, I'm sorry. You have another option? Most of the time they'll be like, I wait for you, brother. It's fine,
Right.
It's a truck down, or it's always a thing, about getting them back on the road. But when you tell them the hint of, I'm not gonna be there, and they're like, oh, who is gonna touch my truck, Like, I don't want that happen. Your customers, like, they understand. And if they really like you, like, they'd be like, I'll wait for you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that too, like, being able to build strong relationships in the house, in the family, the business, and outside of the business, I think that should be the, we're most proud of, like, being able to build a community and service that community.
Yeah.
Because this is all about service.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%. And Stephanie, you just now alluded to, you said making 7 figures. So you guys have $1 million business.
Definitely, yeah.
How does that feel? In three years.
3 years.
This guy was just now donating everything he had on his body to make
Government
$1.
help and everything. Yeah, to this. It was crazy. The first 6 months we waited for our first paycheck. We were doing this every day. You know, buying truck parts is not cheap. So it was crazy. The credit card, we're like, okay, use it, pay it, use it, pay it, use it, pay it. So those $35K that we started with they went gone. They were gone.
Fast.
Yeah, fast. So a lot of times we're like, come on, just give us. Every single day we were checking the mailbox for that check. So when we got our first paycheck, it was like, wow, we were able to breathe for the first time. I don't think we ever thought that we were going to get this big. Like Pedro said, we did started this in a way of like helping someone out. You know, we've always talked about building our village and, you know, having, because that's where it is, you know, just building that village. But yeah, 7 figures comes in nice. It's given us a lot of freedom. And we appreciate that, but we never take that for granted, you know.
Now, when you, and this is my entrepreneur question, when you made the $1 million, did you see it? Did you see that you guys were getting there, or did you kind of look back and say, "Oh shit, we made $1 million"?
Oh, every single quarter, every single quarter. I was like looking at those statistics. Mind you, my background is in sales, so to me, statistics are everything. So we just were like, okay, we got this customer now, and they want this jobs, you know, and then they will send us the PM list. So every single time I was like, okay, we're getting there. When we started the second year, because we did our first year, we did $500,000.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, we can do twice as much.
We can do half. There's more input.
Yeah, let's do it. So we started working on that, and we started like, let's do it, and let's get as many jobs as we can. And
so that number was a goal.
That number was a goal.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
On the second year when we were rolling, we hired a marketing specialist company.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, what's your goals, you know, this and that, like growth-wise. And they were looking at our numbers, and I was like, well, we want to make $1 million. And the guy was like, oh, you got to be real, brother. In order to achieve that, you need to do so and so and so. And I was like, okay.
Hold on, this guy is supposed to be working for you as in marketing, and he's telling you to be real?
Yeah, he was telling me, like, you're not going to make it that way. And I was like, okay, I'll show you. You know?
What?
Oh, yeah, because they, you know, it's like we wanted to grow organically because we knew who we were working with. But he was like, no, you need to invest and do all of this. And we're like, you know what? Our capital is not there yet. And I know they said, like, a 15% of your revenue for marketing. And we're like, we're not quite there yet. So we're going to do it our way, you know, the old school way.
Right.
So I think like that was kind of Pedro's motivation, you know, the Roman Empire in him. That he's like, you're not going to tell me I can't. So every single quarter I was like, okay, we're this. And it was also a good strategic to be, well, we are short, you know, $50,000 for this quarter. How do we make it up for the next quarter, you know, while inspections are coming up or oil changes are coming up. So let's do it, you know. That's how we can make it. So it was a strategic one to be like, how do we get there?
So now that you've crossed the mill, is the next goal 5? Is the next goal 10? Like, what's the next the next goal?
The sky is the limit, I gotta say. And not even
or does it feel like, okay, we're there, let's just keep on working now?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like you've proven yourself and you've got it, you're good?
I got to use it.
Good, use it. Good.
Yeah, no, well, so we've proven ourselves for that $1 million, and now we are restructuring to work for that dealer model. How much money is that gonna be? We have no idea.
Right.
We have no idea. We haven't like really sit down and talk numbers. And I don't think we ever talk numbers. It was always like, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to be mobile mechanics. Okay, let's be mobile mechanics. wait, we made $1 million out of this mobile mechanics. Now, what can we do? So there's been talks of even a paint, right, Scarlett? Even doing like a paint booth or something, like just keep on going.
Adding more services.
Adding more services, like whatever that dollar translates to, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't think and I mean, it's going to sound cliche, but we never did it for the money. We never did. And I think that's where the difference is, that if you have that, goal of the realness of why is it that you're doing it for,
right,
the money will come in.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I got to agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while Pedro takes his bathroom break, man, I think we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
I think we've gone through the whole story. Where we at, Quake? Where we at? Like 2 hours almost?
Yeah, almost.
We've been talking.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So let me make sure I asked all the questions I wanted to know. I think I did. I think I covered everything. All right. So traditionally, we always close the show with two things. Number one, final thought, which is like what you want to leave the audience with. It could be spiritual, entrepreneurial, whatever that looks like. And then also, where can people find you and learn more about what you're doing? So let's start with that. Where can people connect with Diesel Integrated Solutions? How can they find you? What's your website? And connect with you as well personally, Stephanie.
So we have our website. It's dieselis or dieselis.com. You guys can call me whenever you want. I've had a couple of truck drivers that they realize what we're doing as mom and pops, and they're like, how do I start this? I'm very open book. Whatever knowledge that you can get from me, you can give me a call. My number is on the website.
Okay.
So you can just give me a call and I'll be the one to answer.
Okay. Solid.
Yeah.
And then let's get your final thought. What do you want to leave the audience with? And all, give something to the mothers out there, because I mean, you got the baby in your arm.
Oh, God.
I don't mean to just bogart your final thought, but I think you need to speak to the mothers out there, and just being an entrepreneur, being a boss. Man, this is what it's really about. Like, you have the baby on your shoulder while you do an interview.
It is, and she is stuck by the hip to me. So I gotta say, be graceful with yourselves. Be graceful, be patient. As mothers, we are the glue to it all. We are the glue of the world, and it's hard to carry that on your shoulders. There's a lot of times that we are constantly caring for people, and we never stop to think, like, who's caring for us? And sometimes even you have to do that for yourselves. So be patient, be graceful, and it'll get better. It'll get better.
I love that. I love that. So, final thought, man. We're wrapping.
Okay.
So final thought is basically what you want to leave the audience with. Just something, encouraging, motivational, entrepreneurial, spiritual, wherever you want to go with it. And then let people know where they can connect with you. So Stephanie already told us where to find the website and so forth. So just leave us with a final thought, man. Let's close it out.
I want to say that what keeps America moving is the trucks. The trucking industry is one of the pillars of the economy in America. I'm proud of we being able to service that industry, and we don't do it for the money. Like we were talking about 7 figures and that. I've never done it for the money. If you're lucky to do what you enjoy doing and get paid for it, do it or chase it. Chase your dreams. Chase your dreams. Go for what will make you feel better doing, and you will be rewarded. But if you go chasing on something empty like money, then you might not have fun. As long as you're having fun, you're gonna be waking up 5 a.m. and finishing up 10, 12, in the midnight, and you still have the strength to do it every morning or to do it every day because you're enjoying it. So I'm happy to say that I like serving the trucking industry, and it's made us like a reputable business, and we're doing good. And just keep it real. Keep it real for yourself.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking, yeah.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Listen, you guys have no excuses. Man, 3 years, came from Mexico with just the one pair of clothes on their back.
Yeah.
They just did whatever they had to do, sold burritos, gave blood, had nothing in the bank. So, built up a cash reserve to be able to start a business with one truck. And now you have $1 million business in less than 3 years.
Yep. Yeah.
And growing.
And growing.
Man, congratulations to y'all, man. This is a super dope story. I wish you so much success. Keep on just killing it. And, reach out to these guys, man. They're open book. They want to help. I'm sure there's people who are looking for opportunities. I'm sure you're looking to give opportunities as well. So reach out. And, man, thank y'all for coming to making this trip all the way from California, man.
Thank you for having us.
We
that was
really
great.
Appreciate it.
That was great.
So where can they find us?
Dieselis.com.
Dieselis.com. Yeah, that's our website.
Dieselis.com, right? We'll put it there. We'll drop it or something like that so they can find y'all.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll leave some links in this description as well so they can just click it, make it easy for them.
Perfect.
All right, Hustle family, you know what we do around this time. If you smell something burn that's only your desire, myself and Diesel Integrated Solutions, Stephanie and Pedro, we are out.
Thank you.
All right, guys, if you love Truck and Hustle and you love the interviews and the information that we're providing week to week, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. All right, Hustle fam.